What it do, cyber world. It is your girl, the one, the only, Ash Said It. AshSaidIt.com, AshSaidIt.com. Welcome to the Ash Said It Daily Podcast Show. I appreciate you guys for all of your love and support. Over 1,600 episodes and 500,000 streams worldwide. None of this would be possible without you guys, so I thank you so very much. And we're getting some rainstorms here in Atlanta today, and I wanted to make sure that I talked to a gentleman that is absolutely making some leeway with his amazing product. I am talking about the founder of For Joy today. Jeff, how you doing?
I'm great, Ash. Thanks for having me on.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us, Jeff. So, Jeff, where in the country are you today?
I am located in the San Francisco Bay Area.
Ooh, San Francisco Bay. And I won't even necessarily ask about the type of weather that you guys are having because, I mean, it's clearly good year-round. So.
Yeah, we luck out over here on the West Coast.
Oh, my goodness. Absolutely lucking out. So, Jeff, as you are a part of the Asian community, what went through your mind when the news broke this week about the anti-Asian attack that happened here in Atlanta, Georgia?
You know, it's alarming to say the least. Off the bat, I want to offer my thoughts and prayers to anyone who's been affected by these senseless acts of racism.
Yeah.
Especially to the families that have lost loved ones. It's terrible because it's so senseless. Mm-hmm. I know what happened in Atlanta this week made probably international news, definitely national news. But the level of violence in the Bay Area, where I'm from, is extremely high right now. Mm-hmm. Literally talking 1 to 3 attacks on the news every day for the past several weeks. So it's alarming. Mm-hmm. I think backhanded discrimination towards Asians has always been there, but never really spoken about loud enough. Mm-hmm. And I think with the strong BLM movement over the past couple of years, I think it was supported strongly by a lot in the Asian communities. Yeah. And I think right now Asians have found their voice and found that strength to actually speak up and be willing to talk about these issues versus just kind of brushing it over and trying to stay quiet. But, I still think we are in a learning process to really understand where this senseless violence is really coming from. Mm-hmm. Is it frustration from the COVID restrictions and loss of jobs and the hit it took to the economy? Is it hearing China virus and Kung flu, on a regular basis? Mm-hmm. Is it because Asians are perceived as easy targets who won't fight back? Mm-hmm. And it's most likely a combination of all those things. But it's alarming in the Bay because, you're seeing a lot of these assaults where there's nothing taken. Cell phones are left on them, keys are left on them, wallets are left on them. Mm. They're just kind of left with 2 black eyes. And unfortunately, it's targeted towards the older generation, like 70, 80-year-olds who can't defend themselves. Yeah. But yeah, as a dad of 3 little ones, I grew up in the 90s and I was blessed with that. I had a great childhood, a lot of great memories. It's really weird to think that I might have to have conversations with my kids about, keeping their eyes open in public that I never had to have, growing up. So those are the kind of the things that I think about right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was also a 90s kid. I grew up in the 90s as well. And I feel like there was still violence and stuff going on in the 90s. And maybe a lot of people will say, well, we didn't have social media, so it wasn't really in our faces. But also I feel like in the last 2 years, as we've been, going into, technically year 2 of dealing with COVID and restrictions and everything that's been going on with the government, I feel like things are really at the height that it's ever been. Like, I don't ever remember feeling this way in our country. And so I'm just hopeful, I'm prayerful, and definitely lifting up all the people that have been affected by this violence, and as well as other violence all around the country and even all around the world. Because we know it's not just necessarily just one targeted area or whatever the case is. It's happening all over. Some of it is just not publicized. We're not hearing about all these instances. So definitely thoughts and prayers going out to all those families, and hoping for a better tomorrow, Jeff. Definitely hoping for a better tomorrow.
Absolutely. I'm optimistic.
Yes. I think we have to be. Like, we can't just sit up and just be in the negative thoughts and the negative feedback of it. It's a very negative situation, but we have to think positively in order to build that kind of momentum. That way we can actually have a better future, and our kids and our kids' kids can, enjoy a better world. But we'll see what happens. It's definitely been an interesting time. But let's jump into your brand, of course, Jeff. So the brand is For Joy. Let everyone know, what is For Joy?
So we make a CBD infused iced tea. We use a custom blend of tea, real fruit, real sugar. We kind of see CBD as a medicine, something that can help people who sit on that spectrum of stress to depressed, which is basically anyone in this day and age.
Yeah.
But we wanted to couple, that medicine with something that was beneficial and tasty. So, to us, it made perfect sense to marry the CBD flower with a tea leaf.
Now, how did you actually come up with this brand?
So I actually started using CBD after my workouts, just to help with muscle relaxation and recovery. I just saw stuff online and heard good stories from other friends. And I actually felt the benefit. But I was looking around. My wife is a holistic nutritionist, so she's very clean in terms of her eating and her nutrition.
Right.
So I was looking around for products that kind of lean that way. No artificial flavors, no artificial sugars, and it was difficult to find something. So, just seeing the opportunity as well. This was maybe 2 years ago. Seeing the opportunity, being at the very beginning of the CBD industry. My co-founders and I decided to jump in and take a shot at it.
Okay. So in the beginning, when it was still in development, what was the first roadblock that came across to you that you really didn't anticipate?
So I've had a kind of an interesting background. I was in tech, I was in finance, I was in the restaurant industry for a little bit. Okay. I had no experience in CPG. So just learning everything about the ecosystem of CPG took some time. I always heard from people in the industry that working with co-packers would be challenging. But I thought, if you planned well and you had open communication, things would work out and stay timely. Right. That's not the case. So we worked with, I want to say 3 co-packers before we landed with our current co-packer. And it was difficult. Communication was difficult. Responsiveness was difficult. Getting promised time on the line to produce was challenging. And then, we had a couple instances where we were promised some time on the line, and then at the last second they said, "Oh, we gotta go produce for this other brand because they're 10 times bigger than you guys. You guys are just starting out." So dealing with that, actually, it was anticipated, but it wasn't what I was expecting, even though we were kind of preparing for that.
Yeah. Wow. I'm sure that was quite the surprise. Wow. So what are some of the offerings on the website today?
So today we have 3 SKUs. We have an OG hint of sweet, so that's just a basic black tea with hemp, low sugar, low calories. And then we also have our Meyer lemon ginger, which is kind of spin on a lemonade, and then a strawberry mint.
Okay, cool beans. Now, we have a lot of people that are on so many different diet restrictions and people worried about counting calories and sugar intake. Was that taken into account when you guys were actually configuring all these different flavors?
Absolutely. So, the important thing for us is I wanted something that I was willing to drink every day. And that led to, being mindful of the quality of the ingredients, as well as the calorie count. So, in our basic OG, we only have 3 grams of sugar, 10 calories. It's literally just black tea, cane sugar, and then organic USDA certified organic hemp. So a big thing for us is, the CBD industry is new. You can find a lot of cheap CBD on the market.
Right.
We are definitely paying at the top end of that. But it's important to us that the quality of the CBD that we offer our consumers is the highest level that we can get. Because we actually see it as something that we want to use to benefit the body.
Right.
So we're willing to spend a little bit more on the quality of that actual quote-unquote medicine.
Gotcha. For you, Jeff, what has been the proudest moment that has happened with you and the brand?
This is a little bit more sentimental for me. So it wasn't planned, but a little bit of a backstory here is my mom has had severe migraines since she was a teenager. She was telling me they started when she was in high school, to the point where, the last maybe 10 years, she would have one a week. And I'm talking debilitating, vomiting in bed for the whole day, completely out of it, very, very severe migraines. And she began drinking our product literally every day for the last, I think she started about 8 months ago. And since then, she's only had 2 migraines in the past 8 months.
Oh, wow.
So she always makes sure she's fully stocked. She's a big believer, and honestly, I was hoping it would help her. I did not anticipate it would help her that much.
Yeah.
But she's happy not having to take pills and, get to just drink something that's super tasty, and then support her son all in the same fell swoop.
Yeah, that's amazing. You always want to help mama. I love that. Last but certainly not least, Jeff, what advice do you have for the next generation of Asian entrepreneurs?
I would say that once you've kind of solidified an idea, something that you believe in, something that you have passion behind, something that you can wake up and be excited to work on, go to sleep kind of thinking about, I think you just got to grab it by the horns and go. I think there's a lot of risk-averse people out there. But if you feel confident in your idea, you feel like there's a need for your product or service, I think you should attack it with everything that you have and then keep pushing. You're going to hit roadblocks for sure. That's not just an Asian thing. It's literally an entrepreneur thing. So once you hit those roadblocks, it's what you're made of, right? So I would implore everyone to keep pushing, and then reach out to as many people as you can for help and guidance, because entrepreneurs are, for the most part, always willing to help a fellow entrepreneur out and help them guide them. You learn a lot in the first couple months, years of being an entrepreneur, and it feels good to pay it forward. So don't be shy. Reach out.
Awesome. I love it. Jeff, thank you so much for joining us today. We appreciate you. And
thank you.
Yeah, definitely. Let everyone know the best way to get in contact with you guys, to get the product, and also to follow you across social media.
Yeah, check us out. Our website is www.drinkforjoy.com, and our Instagram handle is @drinkforjoy.com, as is our Facebook page.
I love it. Perfection. Keep pushing forward, Jeff. 2021 and beyond.
Thank you.
I definitely would love to have you back when there's a new announcement. I know in the next couple of months you may have something on the stove cooking, so definitely want to talk about that. But I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. Keeping in mind, anyone to tell you that you can't do what you want to do, you look them square in the face, you tell them, don't believe me. Just watch. Watch what I do. Watch me make it happen. Watch me make history. That's what we're doing this for, the history books. Social media is nice, but real life is so much better. Until next time, you guys.